So it seems like everything is getting more and more expensive these days, including e-bikes. So today we're going to go through 5 of the most budget-friendly e-bike options under £2,000. Hi folks, I'm Jason and welcome to eBike-Centre. I've got a bit of a sniffle today, so I might sound slightly different to normal. Speaking of normal, there's still a lot of you guys out there who haven't liked and subscribed. So please, 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 could you like, subscribe and click on that notification bell? Thank you very much. Right, let's get to it. Right, so bike number 1, it is the MiRider. It is a very, very small and compact folding e-bike, a company based in the UK, assembled in the UK. This particular bike, you can't see it anymore, it's now out of frame, was assembled by Josh. So Josh, thank you. Aircraft grade, magnesium alloy frame. It's fitted with a 250 watt-hour motor, which kicks out 40 newton meters of torque. In the UK, that's going to be limited to 15.5 miles an hour. I'm not sure if it's going to be different in the US or if they're even exported to the US market. I would imagine they are. They've also got a 252 watt-hour Samsung battery, which is removable. They come in, I think, 7 different colors. In terms of size, they're very, very compact, as I said. 16-inch wheels. The total length of the bike unfolded, so in its riding capacity, is 1.78 meters long, I believe. No, so 1.34, sorry, completely wrong, 1.34 meters long, and folded up, it's just under 80 centimeters, so it's a very, very small bike indeed. So for those that are looking for something to get it on or off a train, on or off a boat, a plane, anything like that, ultimately, this is a really, really good option. If you want to, let's say, just go out touring, chuck it in the back of the car and see the sights, this is a really good option because it is lightweight. It folds up very, very easily as well. There's quite a few folders on the market that we deal with, which, to be honest, are a bit of a faff when it comes to opening and unfolding. They can often be quite clunky. They often don't fold together in a nice way, and they actually scratch themselves, which sounds ridiculous, but they often are, just not always thought through. But the MiRider has been built very, very well, and as such, it's actually won multiple awards. So yeah, they've done a really good job at MiRider on this bike, and it's a bike that we would recommend. Coming in at £1,595, it sits well within our £2,000 budget as well. Oh, a couple more things about the MiRider before I forget. So the MiRider One, which we're looking at here, is single speed, so there's no gearing on it at all, which makes it nice and simple. It's also got a rear shock, which is pretty rare for a folding bike. There is a multi-speed version, which they've just released, but it does come outside of our £2,000 remit, so we're not including it in this video. That's the MiRider for you. Next up, we've got the Oxygen MTB MK2. So this is a bike that has been around for a little while. Oxygen are a British company. The bikes are built in Europe. They were one of the sort of pioneers of the e-bikes, to be fair, but they are a small independent company, and they produce a few bikes in their range. They do a folder, a couple of hybrids, and this mountain bike. And this is the one we're going to focus on. So it's fitted with a 250 watt motor. We don't know the exact output, but I've ridden one and I would say it's pretty punchy, so I reckon around 40 newton meters. It's got 3 battery options. You've got a 10 amp, a 13 amp and a 16 amp battery option, which is going to give you a range of anywhere between 30 to 70 miles, which is pretty good range. They also are all fitted with 27.5-inch wheels, fitted with those Schwalbe Smart Sam tyres. They're 19-inch aluminium frames. They only do one size of this bike though, so if you're very, very, very tall or very small, it might not work for you, but it's a pretty good average sized bike. It's fitted with Suntour SR Suntour. It's fitted with coil-sprung SR Suntour forks and has got 9-speed micro-shift gearing. The bike weighs 23 kilos, which is pretty standard for a bike of this ilk, let's say. Overall, it's a really good-looking bike. It's got the battery integrated into the frame. It's only semi-integrated into the frame, which isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but what that does do is it makes that frame a lot thinner than bikes that have got the battery completely wrapped in aluminium housing. And where are we going from here? And it's a great all-rounder. So who's the bike for? Well, it's for those that want to do a bit of cross-country riding, maybe some light trails, or it's even just for the person that wants to cover a bit of distance or trekking. And quite frankly, it can also be used as an everyday commuter. The tyres on it, on a traditional, a traditional mountain bike, great big Schwalbe Smart Sam tyres will give you a bit of drag, but because you've got that motor, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to push you on anyway. So you could have 2 sets of tyres on it, or you could quite simply just push on with the Smart Sams and use it as your everyday commuter. It's perfectly capable for that. So yeah, as we've mentioned before, it's a really good all-rounder, coming in between 1,400 and 1,700, depending which battery you put on there. So yeah, that's the Oxygen MK2. Oxygen MK2? No, it's the S-Cross Mountain MK2. Next up, we've got another folding bike, this one from Wisper. It's the Wisper 806. Oh, crikey, that's a bit heavier. There we go. There we are. It's a little heavier than the MiRider, but it's still a very good bike, and we'll tell you why. So the Wisper 806, it's an absolute staple for us. We've been selling the 806 for many, many years now. It's been revised several times, but essentially it's the same bike that's been around for a little while. And there's a reason it's been around for a while, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's by far and away the most popular folding bike we sell. In particular, it's the way it rides. It's very easy to get on and off because it's got a low step frame. It's also got a which sounds a bit strange for a folding bike, it's got a slacker head angle on the front forks, which makes the bike a little bit more stable, and it doesn't feel quite as twitchy as many of the other folding bikes that we've got or that we sort of deal with at eBike-Centre. The bike comes in 3 different colours. It comes in black, blue and red. It also comes with 3 different battery options. So they do a 375, a 575 and a 700 battery option. And range-wise, you're looking, from about 25 miles up to 65, 70. They also do an optional torque sensor. So you can put a torque sensor in the crank, which makes the bike more, it feels more lifelike than the standard version. It also gets a little bit more range out of the battery with that in there. And one thing that the Wisper does very, very well, which wouldn't affect the US market, but it does in the UK, they offer a throttle option. So the US viewers probably might not be aware, but in the UK you're not allowed to have an electric bicycle that is throttle powered alone. It has to be pedal assist. But Wisper have found a way around this. They get their bikes MOT'd. So for £200, Wisper will sell you a bike that they've taken away, had MOT'd, and it's now then road legal to have the bike with a throttle. So it's a pretty good option for some people, particularly those that have got less mobility in their legs but still want to get out and about on a bike. The Wisper's a really good option for that. But you're forgetting about the throttle option. For many, many people, it's been a bike that works. It works really well. It ticks lots of boxes. It's easy to get on and off. It's easy to fold up. It's not, as you might have seen, quite as light as the MiRider. There we go. There we are. But you wouldn't normally be lifting it from a sitting position. Yeah, it's flexible, it's usable off-road, on-road. I'm not talking like mountain biking, obviously, but it is usable on, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Next up, we've got a bike that you've probably not heard of before. It's the Welans GF25. So Welans only came into existence in 2021. They were the brainchild of a friend of the show, Burke, so hi Burke. They only came into existence in 2021 when Burke, along with some colleagues who've been in the industry for many, many years, decided they wanted to produce their own well-built and affordable e-bike, and hence the GF25 was born. It's fitted with a Yadea 85 Newton-meter mid-drive motor. So the bike it costs £1,800, but a mid-drive motor at that price is pretty rare indeed. It's also fitted with a good spec level, so it's got 9-speed Altus Shimano gearing. It's also got Suntour SR forks. It's got mudguards, pannier racks, it's got kickstands. It's also got pretty rugged 27.5-inch tyres, which means that you can do pretty much a lot of everything with this bike. It's a really, really good all-rounder. It comes in 2 colours, it comes in black and white, and it also has a 13 amp hour battery which is capable of a 40 to 50 mile range. It's a great commuter, it's great for light trails, it's great for a bit of cross-country riding, predominantly bridle paths, fire roads, things like that. And it's for those that are looking for a mid-drive bike but can't afford to go for something like that with a Bosch Power or Yamaha or one of the other big brands out there, but still want the running feel and power that a mid-drive can produce. So the Yadea motor you may or may not have heard of. They're very big in e-scooters and e-mopeds. They also do produce a lot of sort of mobility-related motors, so for things like mobility scooters as well as actual mopeds. We've got a couple of the Welans in our stores. We've been really, really pleased with them. So if you fancy a go, please pop down. You won't be disappointed. Next up, we've got the Loft Go 7D equipped from Elektra. So some of you may not know, but Elektra are now part of the Trek group. So it's essentially a Trek, but it's still using the old Elektra branding and styling. So this bike comes in at £1,850. It's got 2 frame shapes, so it's got a low step and it's also got a crossbar version. It's a very elegant looking bike. Yeah, it's going to tick a few boxes for those that are looking for, not necessarily style over substance, but it's definitely a very good and elegant looking bike. They've got 250 watt-hour batteries that are built into the frame. It's quite a sleek looking frame because it's a non-removable battery. They've also got the Hyena hub drive 40 Newton-meter motor, and it's got the torque sensor in the crank, so it's a bit more of a lifelike feeling hub drive motor rather than your standard sort of binary on-off hub drive motor. 3 different colours in each model, And yeah, it's a very attractive proposition all round. It's not quite as light as some of the other Treks that are fitted with the Hyena motor system. They're coming in around 20 kilos as opposed to the sub 20 kilo mark. But for 1,850 quid, you get Trek backup, which is a really, really big thing. Lots of bikes that are in the sub £2,000 category, if something goes wrong, as we said, you need to be able to take them to a dealer. In this case, you've got Trek as your backup as well. So you can take it to any Trek dealer and they'll be able to back you up if you've got any issues with the bike within the warranty period. If it's outside the warranty period as well, Trek are very, very good at dealing with they're very, very good with their customer support. So a really good all-round option, particularly with that Trek backup as well. Plus it's a really good looking and elegant bike. So lastly, we've got the Haibike HardSeven 4. So technically this bike really shouldn't be here because its RRP is above £2,000. However, we've got this bike currently on sale at $1,999 and it's a heck of a lot of bike for that price. You've got a Bosch Performance Line 65 Nm motor along with a 400 watt-hour battery, 9-speed Shimano gearing and Suntour coil sprung forks. It's a really, really good all-rounder. It's a fantastically performing bike. So yes, we think it's something well worth having at this price. So yeah, please get involved before they run away. Thanks very much. So there you have it. Those are our 6 really, recommendations for e-bikes under £2,000. Let us know what you think in the comments below. There are links to all of those bikes as well if you want any further information. Also, yeah, if there are any bikes that you think we've missed that should be included in this list, we'd be really, really be interested to hear. Again, please, we'd love you to like, subscribe and ring that notification bell. And if we don't see you in store, we will see you in the next video. Oh, one last thing. There are a limited number of those Haibikes, so if you're interested, I would suggest you get your skates on because they won't last forever. Cheers.